What's up, guys, and welcome back to the West Side. Today, I'm gonna be showing you what I think are some of the most underrated tips that have helped me take my serve to that next level. Now, these tips are for people that already know how to serve, but don't know how to add that extra power, spin, and consistency that they're looking for. Now, this is in no way a complete guide. These are just my top 5 tips that have helped me build a stronger serve. Let's go. Now, a quick disclaimer before we begin. These are 5 tips that I have found to be helpful for myself, and I have found success in implementing in my serve. There is no perfect way to serve. Everybody's gonna have a unique serve. Everyone's gonna do what works for them. This is just what I have found works best for me. So for tip number 1, we're gonna start off with the big one. Create a serve routine. If you watch any pro match, each player has their own serve routine. This is kind of like in basketball. When players step up to the free throw line and take their shot, they each have their own serve routine, dribble it once, spin it, whatever it is. What this does is keep your serve consistent and give you time to focus before you serve. Before I had my serve routine, I would just walk up to the line, hit a powerful serve, get lucky, and then try again next serve, and it would just go straight into the net. Something had changed from my first serve to the second serve. Now, I didn't know what had changed. I just knew that I hit a good serve, then a bad serve, and I couldn't really tell because my goal was just to get up there and hit it as hard as I could. There was no routine, it was just me hitting a ball. Creating this serve routine will keep your serve uniform and limit any accidental or unintended changes in your form. So that way, once you do start to serve good, you can keep serving good over and over and over again with this new routine that you just made. A serve routine can look something like this. I'll call out the score, walk up to the line, bounce the ball twice, get in my ready position, look at where I want to hit the ball, look down back at my ball, and then serve. Let me show you what that looks like in full motion. 3, 2, 2. Tip number 2 is to keep your serve consistent by keeping your eye on the ball when you serve. Hand-eye coordination is essential in any sport that you play. Take baseball for an example. When a batter walks up to the plate and is swinging at the ball, he's gonna keep his eyes locked on the ball the entire time through the swing and follow through. Once he makes contact, then he'll go ahead and look at where the ball is going. It's a crucial mistake to take your eyes off the ball before you make contact, and let me explain why. If I'm serving and I lift my head just a split second before I make contact, that means for that split second, I'm relying on muscle memory to make sure that I make the contact that I wanna make. This is gonna lead to inconsistent serves and less points scored, resulting in more losses. This was one of my biggest problems when I first started. I could not get my serve down for the life of me. There was times where I'd hit it hard, there's times where I'd spin it really good, and then maybe I'd go like on a 4-run streak, and then after that, the rest of the game, I was hitting it either into the net or over the line. Why? It's because I was not keeping my eye locked on that ball. You'll notice the difference if you just try it. Try keeping your eyes locked on the ball when you serve next time and keep doing it. You're gonna see that you don't have to rely on your muscle memory anymore. You can rely solely on your eyesight, which is a million times better, to make good contact and hit the ball where you want it to go. Tip number 3 is gonna be to change your grip when you serve. So changing my grip for my serve is one of the biggest changes I made to generate more power. I went from serving with a continental grip like this to serving to almost about a semi-Western grip, almost a Western to semi-Western grip. Sometimes it kind of changes just a little bit, but you can see how much of a difference that is. It's a drastic difference. I'm almost turning my paddle over 90 degrees. So from here to about right there. Now this allows the paddle face to be in a less slanted position when it makes contact with the ball, which will allow your serve to generate more power. The only drawback to this initially was after I serve, I had to switch back to my continental grip. That way I could move up to the kitchen line and play the way that I wanted to at the kitchen. To practice this, I would just basically serve the ball in my Western, semi-Western grip, and then immediately change my grip afterwards to create muscle memory. It may seem annoying at first to have to change your grip right after you serve, but good pickleball players do this all the time mid-game. It should look a little something like this. So immediately after I served, I came and grabbed it with 2 hands and basically rotated my hand over to bring it back to the continental grip that I like. Sticking with a Western grip throughout the entire game is a little too difficult for me because once I move up to the kitchen, then my backhand and my forehand is not gonna be exactly what I'm used to. I'm more used to that continental grip, so that way once I move up to the kitchen, I have an easier backhand that's angled more in a down position. If it's back in that Western grip, my backhands are gonna be hitting it up. And this is why I switch my grip after I serve. Tip number 4 is going to be to use your legs to generate power on your serve. When I first served, I would just walk up to this line, look at it, and just go with one arm. Did absolutely nothing, okay? So if you do that, you're missing out on a lot of power, and they would return it back at me blazing fast because I just gave them an easy serve to return. When I started to develop my serve, in order to generate a stronger, more faster spinning serve, I began to load a lot of my weight on this back leg right here. About 70 to 80% of my weight is leaning right here on this back foot. Once I would serve, I would step through with a burst of energy and allow my hips to twist and some of my body weight to carry some of that momentum. So instead of just swinging with my arm, I was now swinging with my entire body, like that. If you've watched the PPA tour before, Federico Staksrud is an amazing example of how exactly to perform this. Him and many other PPA players also do the same thing, but if you watch any games, watch Federico Staksrud and see how exactly he explodes out whenever he serves. He is not just serving with his arm or just a little bit of body motion. He is doing an entirely full swing with his whole body to generate the maximum amount of power and spin. Our final tip is one that I'm still guilty of not performing every time I serve, which is to serve deep. I've been told time and time again from my cousin, who is about a 5.2 player, that I do not serve deep enough. He always tells me that I'm more focused on serving it hard instead of serving it deep. Now, when he first brought this to my attention, I was like, well, what's the big deal? Isn't the point to serve hard if they can't serve back? The whole point of serving so that you can serve deep and cause them to have a bad return. If you haven't noticed in pickleball, it's hard to get aces. Serving it hard is not really gonna do you a whole lot of good if you don't serve it deep. Serving it deep, throw your opponent off, especially off of the bounce, because if it's bouncing in this area right here, most of the time they're already standing right here. What's gonna cause them to do is to have to move back and probably take an off-balance shot, which is exactly what you want. The moment that they hit an off-balance shot, it's probably gonna be higher and easier for you to hit a harder drive, keep them on the defensive, and score that point that you're looking for. So to put it all together, ideally, this is the kind of serve that you're looking for. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. If you found these tips helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, share it with a friend, consider subscribing to the channel. I've got lots more content coming on the way. Let me know what other helpful tips you guys wanna see, and I'll see you again on the West Side.